Cool. I'm
I
just
was
going to
gonna
move
say
my mic because
that's fine.
unfortunately the problem I have with this new one is that it gets in the way of my keyboard.
That's not what she said.
Definitely not. I'd be a bit worried about that.
uh, but I think you need to turn it a little bit more towards you, the front of it.
Yes.
Yeah, yeah.
I know it was just
I know
more of a
it's
out of the way sort of moment thing. So.
that's only fresh on my mind because of my own. Hello, Nana. Rapid Views is live in Chive. No, that doesn't work. My hair looks atrocious, but it's really because I'm tired. I worked out today. How are you,
Right.
Nana?
Yeah. I was going to say, how long has it been? Oh, 24 minutes exactly since I finished work at this very desk.
Holy crap! No, thank you. I had to take a nap.
Yeah, I was that's why it took me a little bit longer to get ready because
I wondered.
just finished work at 7. I was like, need some time to go and sort a few things out.
It is hard transition to go from work brain straight into podcast brain or any like playing game brain,
Mm.
any of that. It is. It I have to really like put on the brakes and start back up. Usually with the nap. I like naps a lot. But see, people talk about how, oh, when you're a kid, everyone hates naps. I didn't. Okay, I did when I was like 3, but like by the time I was in kindergarten, I love naps. I nap all the time. I'll lay down in
Mm.
public. I don't care. I used to sleep at lunchtime in school on the table.
Brilliant.
I wonder why people thought it was weird.
And you're still questioning that to this day.
Yes.
Sleeping on tables, being a weightlifter.
Oh, this
Yeah.
week is going to be good for weightlifting. I have 2 weightlifting classes. I am very excited about that. But, oh, great, great. Tired Kylie is now taken over. Pete, you will have to interrupt me at certain points because I'm about to just launch into
But
Rambletown. That's not interrupting. That's terrifying.
making silly noises, I know.
But you know how I have that weird eye that is shaped different than my other eye.
Yeah.
Said that before. I told that story before that I have like way too many nerves on the back of one eye, and he's like, "You have a lazy eye, don't you?" And I'm like, "I don't think so." And he's like,
Uh,
"Your eye is very strange." Like this is the doctor saying that, and he's like, "It's a very weird shape." Um, it's this right eye, and he's like, "Well, you'll always have infections in it." I was like, "I always have infections in it." He's like, "Well, you'll continue to always have infections in it." So guess what? This week is eye
infection.
infection week. So I'm on heavy antibiotics again, and luckily you can't really see anything today, or I would have said something. But it's
Mm,
heavy. I just want to kind of do this.
cool.
Yeah, be like, man, peace and love
No,
and harmony.
no, it is more about the fact that like I'm looking at my camera and I'm noticing how tired I am today,
You're
how
very tired.
slanty eyed I am.
Oh, well, see, I didn't want to say anything because I was watching Call Me
Being
Kevin. Well, no, I was watching Call Me Kevin. Get your bingo cards out. Although that's not recorded. But I was watching Call Me Kevin stream the other day, and right off the bat, first of all, Kevin's had like a lot of anxiety that he's talked about, you know, which is still not an invitation to talk to the person about their anxiety. Um, they're just kind of filling you in, I think. This is how I view it. But then someone came in, and I know they didn't mean any harm. They didn't. And they were like, "You look tired, dude." And Kevin was like, "Dude, I literally just signed on. Do not come in here and like comment on my physical appearance." And he's
Yeah,
like, and then he was kind of thinking about it. He's like, women really get it bad too. And he's right. He's like, if they don't wear makeup, people just go freaking nuts. And I was like, yup. And he's like, so dude, I'm just saying, warning you for if you go into any other body's chat, don't comment on their physical appearance, especially if it's negative. And I was like, you know what? He's right. Never thought of it, but he's right. But again, he acknowledged that the guy probably didn't have any, bad feelings about it. It's just Kevin didn't need to be told that. It took a lot of energy to do what he was doing,
yeah.
But I was so glad to see him streaming. But
How long's it been since he's been streaming?
I think he did a charity stream a couple of months ago, but it was like for Jack, his stuff, Thankmas, that was it. And so he raised him like 10,000, I think. Uh, and then, but he hadn't streamed much before that, and not since then. And I was very concerned. Because it's normal human to get concerned, but like I'd never go into his chat and be like, dude, I was so concerned, you know. And then my eBay's giving me alerts. But then
eBay, say.
yeah, I watch so much stuff. I don't buy anything. I just watch it and see what it goes for.
Oh.
I lost out because I could not justify over 60 quid for this. Original Famicom from Japan with the disc.
Yes. Yeah. Whoa.
Yes.
What?
Yes. And there was a
You
couple
can't
of,
just...
I couldn't. I could not in this economy. I couldn't. Me and the guy went back and forth and back and forth. I'm pretty sure he had his at like 100 or more because that is what it's worth. I had to stop.
Oh, thank God you know that.
Yeah.
You're getting an absolute...
Oh no!
I want to swear so bad at you right now.
It didn't work, but I mean they're simple fixes.
Yeah, but that's an easy fix. That's probably just a semiconductor issue, or could be something along the board that just needs a bit of soldering or a bit of cleaning,
it's usually that. Usually something's rusted out and you just replace it and it's fine. But I did find a way I can get directly from Japan because they've got like a surplus of them, kind of like. Well, I was gonna say here, but I don't know about here. But the U.S. has tons of NESs.
Well, because you can blame Mattel for that one.
Well, over here, I don't know that it was Mattel in the U.S., but I don't know. I can't remember.
I believe it probably was. Like I think for the longest period of time, over in the West, I think it was Mattel that were distributing it because Nintendo didn't have a very good name over in the U.S.
There's for our viewers in case they've never seen it. Yeah. I got mine.
I've noticed it enough times.
That right there is not like the NES that's sitting on that top shelf is not the NES. That NES is in the box. That's a box.
Yeah, I know.
Thing.
I think you've told me that before.
Well, actually, the very first time we met, Pete, and I mean met in Discord, not in real life. I posted the picture of that, and you were like, "Oh, dude, I'm so jealous," because Pete thought I was a dude. He literally thought I was a dude. Yeah, he thought I was a dude until the minute he heard me go, "Hey."
But it could have been worse.
How? Oh, you still thought I was a dude?
Yeah.
Okay, that's
like sitting on a camera, on camera. I could still think you were a dude.
Yo, bro.
What up, bro?
How's it going, bro? Or my trainer, that's my friend. He's from South Africa, and they say "bro." He's like, "Hey, bro."
Oh, yeah, I think I've heard that before.
Yeah, I was like, oh. Because he calls everyone brew. It doesn't matter.
Yeah.
Say, "Hey, brew." With the, like, Hawaiian...
we good.
Okay. Do we want to let...
my pre-check.
Yeah. Do we want to let chat get a chance a little bit, or are we just going to dive right in?
Well, let me actually go back and get all my get the chat open so I can see it.
Did you say get all your bits, Pete?
Bits open, yeah.
I don't want you to open your bits.
No, that might be quite painful. Yeah, I meant get the chat open.
Chatty chat.
There we go.
There's
we got a bueno.
Bueno.
Also, hello, Nana. Sorry, I wouldn't say it then because I was sorting everything else out in the background.
Pete was ignoring you, Nana.
Always, clearly. Clearly ignoring that I'm the one putting together a meet-up for fans and team alike. So, yeah.
Yeah, I'm going to have to think about that one. Like, it's a little too far off for me to make a plan, but I like the idea behind it.
Yeah, because it was supposed to be last year, but nobody sort of was taking the plunge and organising it. So this year I was like, sod it, you know what, I'm doing it.
I was going to say, there's always got to be one person that just leads the charge.
Yeah, me.
Pretty much. Thank goodness.
Probably one of the more organised people.
I was going to say, thank goodness for Pete. I mean, this podcast wouldn't be coming to you live from my basement if he wasn't keeping it on track.
This podcast wouldn't be going out live to anybody if it wasn't for me, I don't think.
No, definitely. I'm not doing it.
Yeah, I know. Right, I've just got to run a test recording in the background, so we'll give 2 minutes. So.
All right, you got 2 minutes. How you like that?
The worst Cockney accent I think I've ever heard.
I was trying so hard. I was actually trying for Peaky Blinders, but
that's more Brummy though.
I know, and I can't. Oh, we're gonna talk about accents today as well.
Look, trust me, Brummy people don't want to talk like Brummy people. Sorry to anyone from Birmingham.
I have a friend from Birmingham. I think. No, he's from Newcastle. He's from Newcastle. Is that near Birmingham? That's.
Oh no. No. So.
Whoopsie.
So take it as this, right?
Okay.
I'm not.
Birmingham's by Manchester.
It is close to Manchester. So we'll use this as the south.
Okay.
Right. So there's the south.
Okay.
Birmingham's about here.
Okay.
Newcastle's about up there.
Right. By Scotland.
It's It's northwest. Sorry. It's like as far northwest as you could basically get.
Right. Okay. He's from Newcastle. He's very cool.
Oh, is it northwest or northeast? I don't know. I can't remember. I'm terrible with geography.
What? Pete, have you seen...
I have given up Warframe and replaced it with Yu-Gi-Oh!
It's a little early for April Fools. Is this an alien?
Wait, hang on a sec. Can you type something that Brent wouldn't usually put to make sure that you're definitely,
What is your dog's name?
Yeah, we need to confirm it is actually you.
Then we find out his password.
Not some weird hacker.
To be fair, though, I did see an article, Brett, and I did thank you when I saw it. Someone was talking.
Sorry, I'm trying to listen to the backup recording, and I keep getting loads of feedback. So 2 secs.
I don't know if that means I can talk or not.
Liar.
Yeah, no.
I see you.
The aliens. What is it? What are they called? The body snatchers.
Still can't hear you though. 2 minutes.
What is the test you have to do in the John Carpenter movie? It's like you put copper in the blood or something. It's so creepy. John Carpenter's cool, by the way. Oh yeah, we're in for a fun time. I'm just gonna ramble from subject to subject. But John Carpenter is really cool. If you ever watch interviews with him, like he's very cool. He just don't give a frick. And this is awkward.
Sorry.
Okay, are you back now?
I think so.
Okay, so what
Give me 1 second. It sounded like my levels were a bit too low on this backup on the recording. So.
Right. Okay.
Just gonna try out something.
Pete and I have the same microphone. That's like we're twinsies.
It was also because it was 40 quid off over Christmas, so why not?
Frick, that's a good deal. I got my...
Yeah, I know. Well, you did. I could have had it, to be fair, but I let you have it.
And to be honest, it's not a bad microphone. It was a shaky start because it's got inline controls, or I guess they're not inline, they're surface controls.
Yep.
If you're not used to that, and they're not, and having hardware control your mic levels is odd if you're not used to that. That's what I'll say.
Yeah, I was not used to it, so I'm still kind of adjusting to it already. Because
you can have the gain turned way up on this thing and totally forget, and it's also up on your software, so it's just like blah 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 blah, like the lines are flat topped.
Mm-hmm. Right, sorry, 2 secs. I just need to check to see if that's taken, let's say.
Taken. Wow, guys, this is going to be a fun one. I was actually considering drinking. I'm glad I've decided not to. A, because I have to go work out. B, because I would probably just fall asleep. I was taking a nap earlier. It was wonderful.
Yes.
Taking a nap to Krusty. My new... Well, again, he's not replacing Kevin. No one can replace Kevin.
No one does. No one ever will.
We might at the end, Brent, but that is a future subject because I have a lot to say about that.
I got far too much I want to talk about. It'll probably come in the news episode at some point.
Tonight's
but we
going to
will
be a lot of chatty because I think Pete and I have a lot of thoughts to explore.
We do. We also have a topic as well.
Not kinda. We definitely have a topic. Oh, do you mean? Oh, okay. Yeah. Just you know what? This is just me.
Yeah, I know. But yeah, it sounds like we're okay. But I think I've discovered what the problem is.
Oh, what's that?
My headphones are screwed.
Oh no!
Yeah, So I don't know if you're like me. This annoys the living hell out of me. One side is louder than the other.
How? Is that a thing that happens?
Clearly, I think it's happened quite frequently with pairs of earphones I've had.
Oh.
So one side will go louder than the other before it breaks.
That's crazy. To
I know.
be fair, I only used that pair of, was it Grados that I had?
Mm-hmm.
For like the last 10 years. So
yeah, I know.
I kind of really want to buy those again. I did find some.
Yeah, I remember you saying this actually.
They're still like £100, and they're like 10
years
old.
Thanks.
So I'm considering it, but then my friend, he talked me out. He was like, look, he's more like an audio person like you are. I just don't care. But he's like, look, there's newer and better technology out now.
Yeah.
Go for those. So, I don't know. We'll see. But we should get this started because I'm just going to ramble.
Yeah, me too.
I wish I had coffee. I should have got coffee.
That's why I needed time.
I know. And I thought about it. Well, I thought about it when you said you were getting something to drink. I was like, I really should go get some tea.
Yeah, not always me making a drink when I say that, by the way.
Is making a drink meaning you're going to the toilet?
Sometimes. I mean, I could have said I was dropping the kids at the pool.
No!
That's what I mean. Just be nice.
Yes. Oh my goodness. Okay, are we ready to start this poop?
Yeah, right. I am recording. Yeah, 147.
Okay.
3, 2.
Welcome to Rapid Reviews Radio, episode 147. I'm your co-host, Kiley Wilde, and I'm joined by my ever-present co-host, Pete Beckett.
Hello.
And today, we are going to do a lot of talking, which is good, because it's a podcast, and you should talk a lot on a podcast, because dead air would be... Oh, I wonder if there's a podcast just called Dead Air, and it's just silence for like 30 minutes. That's mine. I'm patenting that idea right now.
I know there is a podcast called the Canned Air Podcast. That's about as far as I know.
Oh, okay. Well, Dead Air is me. I made it. Anyway.
I'm not sure you're the creator of Dead Air.
Hey, watch me.
Itself. The principle itself.
But we are actually talking about a very, very cool thing. And I'm going to let Pete talk first because... okay, wait. Let me go back and say what we're talking about first. We were talking about... Yeah, the first episode of The Last of Us TV show. I was going to say the first episode of The Last of Us episode. TV show. Because we both watched it. And I think we are now The Last of Us podcast. The last podcast.
We can't be because there is an actual official Last of Us podcast with Troy Baker.
Can we be like the last podcast of us? Ooh, I don't like that. Ooh, that makes me sad.
No, because that sounds a bit too close to Last Podcast on the Left.
Yeah, well, I was trying to avoid that.
Yeah, well, there's the problem.
The Last Podcast at the End of the Universe, which is my favorite book by Douglas.
Please don't, because that actually that brings back a conversation I was having about Hitchhikers yesterday.
What? That is my favorite series. And remember, I'm American. I didn't even know it was a thing. It's a huge thing over here.
Massive.
It wasn't over in the U.S. We didn't know anything.
Oh, I know it wasn't, and not until the movie anyway.
Yeah, not until the movie, and I
Yeah.
hated the movie. But I had read the series. I saw a book with this like green smiley face with this thumb up, and I was like, "Oh, I want that," because it's like 12.
Yeah,
And
we've definitely had this discussion quite a few
did.
times, I think.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's
anyway.
Anyway, what was your discussion about?
What do you mean?
About the Hitchhiker's Guide, or were you just saying just?
Oh, it was just the fact that
general...
we were just talking about it because my fiance's sister-in-law,
right,
huge fan, so we were talking about it.
Nice. What?
Yeah, although the only thing that they ever did right with the movie, the whale.
The whale, 100%.
Fantastic.
Absolutely.
But there was one other thing as well.
The singing bit?
No.
Oh, I actually like the singing bit. Well,
no, it's such an ineffectual thing, but the remix of Journey of the Sorcerer is actually very good from the movie.
Oh, yes, I listen to that sometimes. I didn't know, what was their name? I forgot.
The Eagles.
The Eagles! The Eagles did it, y'all! The Eagles did the Hitchhiker's Guide theme.
I know. It's currently in my like songs because it's fantastic.
It's amazing. And okay, this is just how it goes, people. So in the US, we only have one channel. This is way back when there was only cable. We had one channel that showed British stuff, and it was called PBS. Later, we got BBC America, but that wasn't until I was like a teenager.
Mm-hmm.
But as a little bitty kid on PBS, I would watch Hitchhiker's Guide at like 10 o'clock at night. It showed Are You Being Served, Faulty Towers, The Young Ones, and Hitchhiker's Guide.
Nice.
Which was my introduction to British comedy, which wasn't that bad, to be fair.
And if you listen to Modern Escapism, you would know that this week.
Yeah.
Your correspondence got read out.
Yeah. Yeah, I was doing a little cross promotion. I don't know how you
I know, I do it quite frequently anyway.
Yeah.
So.
Plus, it's a fun subject. You want to read what Brent said, and then we will get going on.
Yeah, so Brent's book, my sister asked me about The Last of Us because she saw it on TikTok. My future brother-in-law and his wife were asking about it too.
Okay, well, since everyone's asking about it, we're going to talk about it. Now, here's how this is going to go. I made notes, and I am not, as you know, I'm scatterbrained, and I look at things differently. So I'm kind of more the creative reviewer in this. And Pete is the more technical reviewer because he's so good at that. He's just better at that. He's just better at reviewing, full stop. I'm like...
That's not true.
I'm like,
published author compared to review writer.
No. The published authors really should never be reviewers. There's a reason.
I know.
But... Pete, okay, so we both watched The Last of Us, first episode.
Yeah, but you also finagled on the brief because you should have watched episode 2 by now.
So about that. My theory was that I was gonna save it and just concentrate on this because I have tunnel vision. I'm autistic. And then Pete's like, "Did you watch the second one so we could talk about it?" I was like, "No." Pete's all excited.
And there I was because I watched it first thing this morning thinking we were going to talk about it today.
See, that's the difference in people's brains. I love it. It's a beautiful thing.
Probably should have messaged you today and just made sure of it. That was my problem.
That was your mistake there.
But can we reverse this back because we need to do something first.
We have to do that a lot in this episode, I think. But what?
Oh, we have to do something first. We have to do a quick catch up.
We also, we have to do our catch up and we have to do our, we got this.
That's more of what I meant.
Yeah, so I'm so glad you caught that. Wow, after a pitch perfect intro, I forgot
I know.
this bit. So Pete, how's your week been? So he goes silent.
Sure, one of those weeks. So, it's been tough, mentally, let's say.
Yeah.
If
anyone's in your orbit, I think they could tell you were having a tough week.
Yes. So, Yeah, I didn't make it abundantly aware to anyone because I'm not one of those sorts of people.
You're not an airport.
No, I've deleted Twitter.
Yeah.
I've deactivated my account for a bit of a break. I didn't do the usual of I'm leaving Twitter and then not
Announcing
leave
your
Twitter.
departure.
I just left.
Well, you talked to me, but
Well, but that was after I
that's
deactivated the
true.
account
Yeah.
and by a good couple of hours as well.
Yeah. But it was good reasons. I support it. I get it. Twitter is bad for mental health if you don't lock it down and put so many fail safes in there. And they try to ruin it anyway because with this new For You timeline, like I'll be scrolling through Twitter and all of a sudden I'm getting angry because I'm not an angry person. I'm getting angry and I look up and I'm like, I'm on the For You section. So I have to
I
switch
didn't
over
notice
to
that until
and
didn't
it
notice that
forces
until I
you.
was on the podcast Twitter because that's the only one that stayed active.
Well, like once I put it over back on my chronological
Normal.
feed, whatever, home feed, whatever. Yeah, it like everything comes back down. It's like all my friends and everything. But yeah, no, that's not cool. So I get it. Totally get it.
Yeah, it was one of those things. It was annoying me. People on there are just so vocal about a lot of things, and I was just like, I've had enough of it. I'm one of the biggest people out there that would say I enjoy being on Twitter at times.
Mm-hmm.
But the key to staying on Twitter and enjoying it is to remember it's not real.
Yeah, and to curate a little bubble like I have done.
I have not done that, but it's kind of like what people do on TikTok. It's like, yeah, you create your algorithms based on that. But no to TikTok for me as well.
It's too loud and frenetic. My lovely, lovely, wonderful friend, when she was here, she loves TikTok. And I love her, but I don't love TikTok. I don't. It's too loud.
I mean, I've already got the American government spying on me. I'm not sure I need the Chinese one at the same time.
But we are, so, yes. Your reasons I thought were fair and just and balanced, and I get it. I do. I still hated to see my numbers go to... that sounds really selfish. I didn't mean it like my numbers. I meant because that meant Pete was gone.
Because I usually read your tweets.
Yeah. You're like one of the 3 people. I have 4. 4 now.
Yeah.
I read my tweets. Okay. But that's cool.
Yeah, I think I don't know what it was that just caused it. I just sort of was having a bit of a bad day and just went, you know what, I think I need to be off of it for a bit.
Has your load lightened?
Yeah, I would say so a little bit. Yeah. It's just it's the weird sensation of it really is like a drug problem. Like, because I'm going on my phone and I'm instinctively going towards Twitter, and then I'm like, oh, yeah, I don't have Twitter anymore. Go off of that. All right, what do I do now?
Yeah, I do get that. I only access Twitter on my iPad, but my iPad is like my professional assistant is with me 24/7, so it's like it doesn't matter that it's not on my phone or my computer or whatever. It's like right there, you know?
I mean, can your phone even get Twitter on it?
No. Speaking of which, I'm getting a new phone. I'm getting a new phone.
No. Wow. What, actual new phone or like a couple of years old?
See, there you go. It's 2 years old. But it's what is that other thing called? Android. So we'll see how long that lasts. Watch me hate it.
Good.
And then I'll instantly buy the little iPhone that is like my iPhone, but is the new one, SE or something like that. I don't know.
Yeah.
I just do not care. All I want to do is take pictures of myself at the gym. And that's the only thing I use my phone for. No, and then I stream Spotify in my car.
Oh, yeah. I forget about that because you obviously have a Bluetooth adapter in your car.
I do. We don't talk one of those about it.
I was going to say, I'm guessing you're not one of those sorts of people that will make your phone calls through your speakers on your phone, on your car.
Of course I do. It's on.
Oh, for God's sakes.
The buttons are on the wheel, the steering wheel. All I have to do is do that.
It is the worst. It's the worst thing in the world. Walking down the road and all you hear is. Yes. It's like, oh, for God, what are you doing? You're having a private conversation where everyone can hear you.
It's so. I only talk to one human on the phone. Like, I literally, like, all of it. It's just my roommate. It's just there. I don't talk to anyone else. So
Brilliant.
yeah. So I'm just like, choo, because it's like right on my steering wheel. My whole
Okay.
everything, control everything by my car.
Fair enough. All right. Well, how's your week been anyway?
Okay. Well, crazy.
Mm-hmm.
Belfast. Well, Northern Ireland, but the area of Belfast I'm in, which is South Belfast, which is like uphill, got hit with snow, and
Of course it did.
to me, it was a blizzard. Everyone else laughed their asses off at me, but I'm sorry. I'm from Texas. I'm still not used to snow, and it still feels really cool to walk on. But
Yeah, trust me. Whilst I'm hit, I can say this because it doesn't snow very frequently where I am.
right,
When it does snow, I love it
yeah.
until it turns to sheet ice.
Well, yeah, and it does do that. So I can't drive in snow yet. I don't know how. Plus, apparently, my car. We won't talk about what kind of car it is, but my car is notorious for not being able to drive in snow and ice.
Because it's a bit too powerful to drive in the snow and ice.
Maybe,
And
I don't know.
this is exactly why I told you to buy a 4-wheel drive.
And so a lot of people had a great fun at my expense this week, but that's fine because I also laughed.
Good.
Why didn't you shovel your driveway? Because I'm autistic and I didn't think that I could shovel it. I never thought about that. And then today, my trainer goes, "Wait, don't you have a bigger other car?" And I was like, "Yes." And he's like, "Couldn't you have drove that?" The truth is, I don't think I could have got that out either, if I'm dead honest. Because it's also an automatic, and getting it up over the snow hump that was in front of my driveway, look, I should have shoveled it. That's really what it comes down to. I'm autistic and I don't think. I need an assistant that has a brain that just walks around with me all the time. But anyway, as Pete is often to say, and I said this to someone this week about what you said, Pete. I was like, Pete says I'm the smartest dumb person he's ever met, and I'm like, that is so true. It's 100%.
Well, it's either you're the dumbest smart person
Yeah,
or the smartest dumb person.
Yeah, and it's like,
I don't know. It could be either at this point.
it's so freaking true. I was gonna say something. What was it? Oh, anyway, so I didn't go to the gym, which always makes me like super. I get weird. I get weird after 3 days, cause I start overthinking and stuff. But so today I went, and I'm very tired because we had cardio, and if you go for a week without doing cardio, and then you go and you do cardio, you're just tired. But that leads us to a very, very quick. We got this. It's actually, it really is a really quick one this week. Because we got this is, I did a video. I made it a video and I put it up on the YouTubes.
Send me the link. I've got the link to it, so
Yeah.
I'll make sure to post it in the show description for those
Yeah.
who want to watch it. It was a good video. It actually helped me the other day.
Well, good. It's made to help. It was made specifically, if I'm being dead certain honest, it's actually an old idea that I had that was for specifically Kieran and Pete. And then I uploaded it and I was like, you know what? This is for everyone. So this week's We Got This is about if you're feeling self-doubts and low self-worth. It's just fun. It's not anything too deep. It's just for fun. And then I think that's going to wrap our We Got This up. It's not normally that fast, but we've been rambling for so long at this point.
Yeah, we've also sort of touched on the fact that the both of us were probably a little bit sort of like,
yeah, it was and then definitely an week. For me, which makes me just start overthinking and anxiety just shoots up out in outer space when I overthink. Which is why I do things to distract myself, like go to the gym and play mobile games for like way too many hours. Oh yeah, that's what I was gonna say. So today was supposed to happen and it didn't because I'm tired. I am relaunching my online store this week.
Nice.
But there is a special part of that. Me and one Mr. Overseer Mike.
Overlord.
Overlord Mike. thinking of Fallout. Overlord Mike have agreed to have a little mini rapid reviews merch store. So be looking for that
Nice.
this week. Yeah, and if it does really well, I will turn it into a big store for everyone. And yeah, the money goes to rapid reviews, not to
Well,
Mike
it goes
gets
to him to.
no.
It does technically go to him to
Yeah.
help
Keep
with the cost of
yeah,
running
exactly.
the site.
Yeah, and
Kind of like the same with our Twitch payout that
yeah,
we got a while back.
50p or whatever it was, but
No, it was like 50 quid.
oh yeah, it was, wasn't it?
It was a
That's
decent
so
amount that we
cool.
put towards site
That's
admin,
right.
and I felt very good about it.
You did. I remember you messaged me and we were talking about it. Okay, I think that wraps up our busy banter.
Yes, I think it does. So, plenty of energy now.
Good, because I'm starting to go.
Good.
But
Let me.
Pete, let's hear what.
I was going to say, let's get on with it.
Okay.
Welcome to Dead Air.
My new podcast coming to your most popular podcast feeds. No, but Pete, tell us. Here's how I want to do this. Tell us a little bit of your history, because this is what I'm going to do. With The Last of Us 1, we don't care about 2. We don't. I'm sorry, we just don't.
No, I'm going to mention both.
I knew it. I was trying to avoid it, and it just wasn't going
I
to
don't
happen,
care.
was it?
I don't care.
Okay.
I'm going to mention both.
All right, and then go into your thoughts.
What about the show?
Yeah.
The first episode specifically.
Yeah.
Okay, so I guess I'll start this out by saying The Last of Us is a property from Naughty Dog and Sony Studios, PlayStation Studios. It was created in 2013. No, I'm not even going to do that.
No, please.
Yeah, based on the popular video game IP. Anyway,
IP free.
yeah, Thanks. I did not want to know, especially with snow. Don't eat yellow snow.
Oh gosh, what a day.
Anyway, so
Yes.
my history with The Last of Us as a property is that I have never played it. I would say I kind of have an intention to want to play it, but I know everything that happens because back in the day when it first came out, I had no interest in playing it, but I did watch a playthrough of it on YouTube.
Oh yeah.
And I have gone back and watched said other playthroughs to get an idea of what the story was like, because I don't think I finished that one. Anyway, so I know the main beats, I know most of the story spoilers, I know the characters themselves. And let's get to The Last of Us Part 2, where we covered it in excruciating detail on this very podcast. So go back and listen to those previous episodes if you want to know what we thought about the leaks, the game itself, Kiley's thoughts about it. We're still waiting for Part 2 of that bloody article.
Believe me, I was aware of that while I was watching this.
I know. But, so, first impressions of the show itself were... probably what I'll say the same as what I've said to the vast majority of people who have asked me so far. I am mostly positive about it so far. So I think in terms of characters, I think it's the weakest part so far.
Really? Okay.
In terms of the actors portraying them, let's say.
Right. Okay. Interesting.
I know they're obviously going in a very different kind of a different angle in terms of the portrayal of it, of each of the characters. They have said this is an adaptation, not an exact retelling, and I think that's the key thing to remember from all of this, is that this is a retelling, not a retelling. Sorry, it's an adaptation.
Right.
So same thing as adapting a book to a movie, or a comic to a movie, or a TV show, or vice versa. You are going to have different characters, and different writers are going to come up with different ideas for how they want to take the story. So I'll start with the positives first. positives are, I felt the sets themselves utterly incredible. Some of the best that I've seen in terms of a TV show so far. I'll get to that in terms of the second episode later.
Next week?
No, I mean later, because I have one minor thing I want to talk about with
All
that.
right,
That
okay.
it's not going to be a hindrance on the story. It won't be spoiled. Won't be anything like that. But I'll tell you about that in a minute.
Okay.
So the sets are fantastic. So when it flashes into the future, into 2023, present day, the camps themselves that they've created in Boston are superb. Really, really well designed, really intricate. You sort of know where you are based on certain landmarks around there, and based on someone who has actually been to Boston, I recognise quite a lot of it, which is quite nice. I felt the characters that are there, some of the main players. So you've got Joel, you've got Ellie. Ellie was not featured as much in the first episode. You've got the daughter Sarah, I think it is, and Joel's brother, which I don't know why thank you. I was blanking on the name.
Yeah.
I felt their portrayal in 2003 was done incredibly well. The introduction to Sarah herself is probably my favourite part of the entire first episode. That slow build is fantastic for setting a scene, for building tension, for giving you everything that you need to know about the changes that they've made to the pandemic itself, and how obviously they've changed it from being spore based to tendril based.
Which is a good idea for TV.
For TV, yes, it works as well, because it's going to be very difficult to be able to portray that without it looking like a CGI slogfest, which I'm so glad they opted against that. I have to say that I was mostly surprised about one particular scene, and that was the plane going down.
Oh, yes.
Holy hell, was that
was
visually, that was astounding.
It actually, like, I've talked before how I don't have a fear response. That gave me a, like, woo!
Yeah, it did with me as well. And just for full disclosure, I'm watching this legally, but I'm having to watch this on a phone.
Right.
Thank you, Virgin Media, for not having Sky Atlantic on your frickin' service. You pain in the asses.
Well,
so I'm watching this through my brother's Sky subscription, but I have to watch it on a phone, so I'm losing some quality, let's say, annoyingly. But other than that, I think the only problem that I have with this is it is a little bit too slow. Pacing wise, I think it could have been increased a little bit.
Right.
I felt potentially some of the opening scenes with Sarah probably could have been cut. I understand why they're there, because they're setting the scene.
Right.
But certain things didn't need to be seen, if you know what I mean. I can
think
understand the principle of where this comes from in terms of people talking about it compared to the video game.
Yeah.
Now, the video game slapped you straight in, doesn't it, with under Sarah's perspective.
Yeah.
You know, you don't see any of the build-up or all of that. But in terms of a TV show, I really like the slow build process, where it obviously talks to you about some of the stuff that's happening elsewhere in the world, like in Jakarta.
Yeah.
The news reports, you know, the little visual cues that you get as well, like to see that not everything is okay. And then setting up the grandma character that then ends up doing what she does.
Felt very Resident Evil.
Kind of a nice little touch, I think.
Yeah.
Especially when you could see her in the background, like when it's not the focus of perspective. I thought that was really cool, actually. But I feel like they probably could have cut a few minutes down on that.
Yeah, which I'm gonna actually agree with you on that. The cookie baking scene could have just totally went.
It could have gone. Like, they could have got rid of that completely. But hey, I can understand in terms of setting a narrative, like, where they're going with that. The escape itself, obviously, to try and get away from everyone, and then the turn that you have, like, at the end of that section. Anyone who knows the game will know exactly what happens at the end of that. So, I felt that was really, really tastefully done, actually. really well done.
Mm-hmm.
But then, unfortunately, it crawls to a snail's pace again when they move into the future. Which I think that's the biggest problem that I have with it. Well, one of the biggest problems. My biggest concern so far
Mm-hmm.
is Bella Ramsey.
Right. Okay. Interesting.
So she was not featured very heavily in the first episode, but when you do see her and you do get to hear her portrayal of Ellie, I'm not sold.
Really? Okay.
Now, now obviously, unlike you, I have watched the second episode,
Right.
and my fears have once again been
Right.
confirmed.
Okay.
I don't think I said this at the time. I didn't think she was right for the role. I still don't think she's right for the role, and I'm not quite sure the direction that she's had with it. I'm just not sold on it, on her portrayal of Ellie.
Mm-hmm.
But then again, I'm also not sold on Pedro Pascal as well.
Yeah. I want to talk about that too.
Yeah, but those are my just,
Mm-hmm.
I say,
Initial.
minor thoughts. I went into a bit more detail
That's
than I
fine.
thought I was going to, but
Yeah.
yeah, I'm mostly positive. I have some nitpicks, let's say.
Right. Okay.
So yeah, what about you?
Well, as I said, I took notes now. So people know if you're part of this podcast, if you watch this podcast, blah blah blah. I have always championed the story of The Last of Us Part 1, as it's now known. I've said it is a wonderful narrative. It was just wonderfully laid out. I even wrote Part 1 of an editorial that you can find on rapidreviewsuk.com. Having said that, I was okay when they very first announced this TV show. I was more positive but a little bit nervous, and then they started announcing the actors, and I was like, "Ooh, get a little bit more nervous." And then they started announcing story beats that were wrong. Not wrong, but different. And I was like, "Oh, I don't know about this." Okay, I'm nervous. I went in this already knowing the story, already knowing the characterization, all this stuff. I'm not coming with new eyes. I'm like in this, and I actually enjoyed it very much. The angle
I'm
that they took.
surprised actually about that. I thought you were going to hate it.
Now there are some, as Pete said, nitpicky parts, but they won me over with the additional stuff, if that makes sense. Like there's a scene, and I wrote it here, like right when it opens. It opens with the 19.
Oh, thank you. Yeah, the 1968, where they're talking about how fungal infections spreads, and I thought that was fantastic.
I loved that setup. Now they did do a little heavy ham-fisted climate change portion.
They did, yeah.
But it was only one sentence, and that's fine. But here's where I'll tell you what grabbed me and got me in, and I was like, okay, I'm settling in for this. Two things. One, there's a very, very subtle thing where they're talking about respiratory diseases, and the guy exhales smoke, and I was like, oh, that is beautiful art right there.
Yeah, because obviously, like 1960s TV, they all smoked on TV
Everyone
still.
smoked, yeah. And but then this is where I was like, holy freaking crap. They go on and they're talking to the guy, the fungi guy. He calls it fungi, whatever. Guy.
Yeah.
The real fun
So do you
guy.
do you mean the guy that's played by John Hannah?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah, the smoking guy. Yeah. And he starts talking about like this fungus that takes over people, which is based on a real fungus, by the way, but it only takes over ants. It can't reach humans. But he says, this is so crazy. He's like, imagine billions of minds spreading infection because people are being controlled and blah, blah. It pans the camera, our perspective camera, around the TV audience.
Yeah.
It catches the camera, the hosts, and all the people staring slack-jawed.
Yep.
At the thing, and I was just like, I got chills You can
Yeah, so
laugh
did
and
I.
say that is grade school film and narrative and story writing. I don't care. It still gave me chills, and I loved it.
Yeah, but that's a sign of a really, really good interpretation of it, and it's not always just about dialogue. It's about visual cues
Yeah.
as well, and the visual cue is it's showing you the impending doom.
Yeah. And also how, like, I'm just going to use a generic anything can be a virus. Anything can be a mind virus. Anything.
Yeah.
Because we avoid, politics and anything, anything, all that stuff on the show. But honestly, generically speaking, anything can be a mind virus. And the way they portrayed that was just.
Yeah, they did a cracking job with that.
Yeah.
Right.
So that.
I was supposed to mention that particular scene, but
It's hard to. It doesn't, like, of course it's there, but if you don't think about it, because that's not where the action is, that's really just the
no.
opening credits type thing.
Yeah, but but if you remember, it's also setting up how the actual infection will work this time around.
Which is really cool that the way they did that. And so some minor differences for people who don't know, and it probably ultimately doesn't matter, but in the game, the virus starts in South America. I think it's through food is infected.
I think so.
Like the FDA starts saying, don't eat this and that and that. Oh yeah, because it's mushroom. It's fungus. But in the show, they mention Jakarta. I don't think they say it starts there, but Jakarta, Indonesia, comes up as the on the news and stuff like that. I thought that was cool. Now I do want to talk about some little details that are dumb and stupid, but they were important to me.
Right, you carry on.
It was set in Austin, Texas. Everyone's accent is terrible and awful. Nobody in Texas sounds like that except for the lady, the next door neighbor lady, but she sounds like she's from East Texas. Central Texas has a way different accent. It's very nasally and very kind of, because they have a lot of money there and they're a very liberal area. So, and they talk a little bit like this, but it's, Texas twang. Okay, nobody talks like that at all, and nobody had a Texas accent. They would do like a word, and then they would throw in y'all, but they would say it wrong, and I was like, oh, I don't know about this. And then they showed Austin, and it wasn't Austin. And I was like,
no, it's one of those things.
Is this the outskirts of Austin? What is this?
It's a filmmaking thing. They try to find a city that seems to resemble the area that they're trying to portray, but it's usually done on the cheap.
Yeah.
Which is why you'll have like certain cities in Canada portraying New York, I think it is, or things like that. It's a bit strange.
That wasn't enough to like put me off, but it was enough for me to like laugh and stuff. Oh, and also, now Pete, you probably won't get this, but the intro itself, is identical to Game of Thrones. I'm confused as to why they did that. So in Game of Thrones and in the Dragon,
House of the
Dragon, I'll never remember the name of that. Game of Thrones Part 2, Dragons. But Dragon Boogaloo. It shows the map of like Westeros, and then it shows like on the Dragon one it's blood, and then on Game of Thrones I think it's ink, and it goes through the map, and then the towns rise and fall and rise.
Oh, and you mean like the credits intro?
Yeah, this was I'm sure it's an homage, but it was like exact, and so I was a little bit like, HBO, you just gonna do that with your shows now? They're just all gonna have that intro?
I think it must be a narrative choice in terms of that, like for HBO, because it's not the first time I've seen that from them either.
Yeah. Oh yeah, and then I thought it was real funny because they switched over to the classroom. First of all, no classroom in Texas looks like that. I don't know what they were thinking, and no classroom. Well, maybe one or two, but not in Austin, and definitely not where I'm from, had a picture of George W. Bush up in their classroom.
I noticed that too. I was like, what the hell is this?
Why? I guess they were trying to show the time period that it was.
Yeah, they were trying to make it very abundantly obvious it was 2003.
Now, let's talk about that. So Pete and I would have been basically
I would have been 15.
Yeah. So I was 14, 13. Let's pull it down a little.
Well, me and you were born in the same
Yeah, I
year,
know.
so technically, like, we would have been about the same. We would have been about the same.
I'm
Sister child.
rewinding it a little bit, but no, we would have been.
Revisionist history, more
Yes,
like.
exactly. We would have been like Sarah's age. The thing that threw me off a lot. Okay, first of all, the fashion was good and the music was right and dead on. The cars seemed right. That didn't take me out. Okay, I'm from a very poor area in Texas, and we have phones. We have cell phones. Like the Razor came out that year, so I'm very confused as to why, when poop starts to go down, Joel had a Motorola, which okay, yeah.
He did, yeah, because he answered
my
it.
mom had that, yeah, because that's the only phone my mom could work was a Motorola. I mean, not a Motorola, a Nokia. Sorry, I was thinking Motorola Razor.
Yeah.
And it's 3 years before the iPhone comes out. It's not that like, you know what I mean? It wasn't like the ancient dark times or anything. Everyone had a phone.
Yeah, I remember having my first mobile phone in like the early 2000s, like 2001.
Yeah.
I think it was.
Oh yeah, because I had the little Samsung flip phone that was blue and gray. Everyone had.
Yeah.
And with the pull-up antenna. And then I got a Sidekick, and I was like, oh, I am rich beyond my wildest dreams. That was my favorite phone ever. But the point is, we all have phones, and we all had computers. Again, I'm in a poor area. We've all got computers that have internet access. I was in chat rooms I should not have been in at that time.
Not everyone had the internet at that point.
Oh, okay. Well,
I didn't.
Well, in Texas, we definitely did. Probably because Houston, you know, being such a big metro city.
Yeah, probably.
And then Austin being a big metro city. So I was confused as to why she didn't check her phone, she didn't check her internet, and she didn't check the TV. Because we did have TVs, and everybody watched TV like crazy back then.
Mm-hmm.
Like actual TV, sat down, channel changer.
Yeah, because you couldn't exactly record stuff unless you did it on a VHS.
Yeah, unless you had one of those digital recorders.
Yeah, but they were so expensive at
They were
that
very
time,
expensive.
so it was very unlikely that would ever happen.
No, although, yeah, no, they were super expensive. But, what was I saying? Yeah, so I was kind of thrown off by that. How she just didn't know, like, she saw planes, like, army planes, military, I shouldn't say army planes.
Yeah.
I am so sorry, military people. I'm very ignorant.
Oh, you mean F-16s?
Yeah, military planes. Oh, gosh.
Helicopters.
Military planes were flying. The police were everywhere. Sirens were everywhere. You know, even the dog barking, stuff like that. She wasn't curious at all. I'm sorry. That took me out.
Yeah, I agree. It's like certain. That's what I mean by nitpicks. There were
Yeah. That's what I'm saying. This is not anything that's actually, you know, pulling the score down or anything. But it is something that I went, okay, that could have been done better.
Yeah.
I don't understand what angle Pedro Pascal is going with, because I know he's a good actor, so I don't know what he's doing right now. I'm gonna think it's a characterization choice.
I think it probably is as well, because you know,
so.
obviously, you know how Neil Druckmann's obviously said that things are going to be slightly different. They might change certain things. The thing that's been theorized is that this is a more softer Joel than is portrayed in the games.
Well, see, this is what's very odd to me as far as characterization with Joel. Joel is interesting in that he is a survivor.
Mm-hmm.
When in the game, when things break bad, he starts. I mean, I'm just gonna tell you this. It's a game that's been out for like 11 years. He starts killing innocent people.
He's a gun runner as well.
He's a gun runner. He would trick people, and then kill them for their goods and services. Well, I guess not services. He was not a good guy. It was always kind of hard for me to. Well, yes and no. But that brings us to Sarah, who's also very different. And Sarah, one of the key elements in the game was how different Sarah was from Ellie.
Yeah.
Sarah was kind of motherly, even for 12-year-old. I think she's 11 or 12 in the game. very, very kind, just kind of soft, soft and all that kind
Yeah.
of stuff. Whereas Ellie's like a bad A,
Brash,
and
yeah.
yeah. Me at 12 years old. But, so that is a weird twist they've added. They made Sarah very, very, brash. But I will say this. The actress that's playing Sarah, her
Fantastic.
scene, amazing.
Yeah.
Abso-freaking-lutely amazing. She
Mm.
outacted everyone on that screen at
Yeah,
that
that's
point.
same thing that I've heard across a lot of the discussions that I've heard. I've been watching like
Yeah.
elsewhere. Is that a lot of people have said the same thing? Is that the actress portraying Sarah has done
Yeah.
a
It's
really,
like
really good job.
it's like she knew I got 15 minutes of airtime. I think it's more like 30. But I'm going to use every 15 minutes and throw every bit I can into it because she did.
Yeah.
And she did amazing. Absolutely. But that made Pedro come across as more wooden. And I think that's what he's trying to do is be softer than
Yeah.
angry Joel. I don't know. I'm going to have to watch him. He's a good actor. I promise he is. But
Well, I've only watched him in Wonder Woman 1984, and he's bloody awful in that. But
I
that's an
haven't seen
awful
that one.
film
I was
anyway.
gonna
So
say I've avoided that to be perfectly fair. But so I'm still positive. It's not taking anything away. And then the story as it continues on, like Pete said, holy crap! That whole escape scene with the plane crashing in the background, well freaking done. Well done.
Mm.
That took me by surprise. And the thing is, like, I know what's gonna happen, and I was still on edge my seat.
yeah,
But I think
I
I
mean,
was more like, come on, I know what's coming on. Come on. You know what I mean?
yeah, I wouldn't say I was exactly the same. I knew what was coming,
Right.
but I was still sort of just like, I'm just on edge. I just want to just want to enjoy this moment, because it was actually like in terms of
We haven't.
storytelling, visual design,
I was
it was
gonna say.
great.
Now you correct me if I'm wrong, Pete, because you do watch a lot more entertainment because you have the other podcast. You watch a lot more entertainment than I do.
Yeah, let me tell. I'll tell you about that in a minute because it's quite funny that how it's led on to this.
Okay. But this is the highest quality of writing and production that I have seen in, I'm going to say,
Years.
2 or 3 years. Yeah, years. I mean, I did love the Batman. I'm trying to think if I loved anything else. I mean,
Look,
I loved the Joker, but that's
the Batman was
ago.
great. I think it had one of those moments where it was just like I think the ending probably didn't need to be done that way, but we have certain things that we can agree to disagree on.
Oh yeah.
Oh,
It's fine.
yeah, there's a comment that's just come in.
Yeah. You wanna read it? I mean, because it contributes to what we're talking about.
It does, yeah. So Rock'em Sock'em Hulk, great name by the way, has put Nico Parker, who plays Sarah, is the daughter of actress Tandy Newton. So that's anyone who doesn't know who that is. That's Tandy Newton, but she changed her name recently. She looks so much like her mum. Yes, she does.
She has the
and
same
I didn't know
hair?
that as well.
I didn't either. Sheesh.
No, I mean comes from good pedigree, I guess.
I was gonna say.
Tandy's a great actress.
Yeah. Well, she inherited the acting gene, if there is one.
Of course.
Acting. But yeah, so I'm echoing a lot of what Pete said. I'm looking over my notes right quick. I did okay. So I do want to reference. This is a little bit silly, but it's just a personal thing. So I do want to reference the article part 1 of the article I wrote that's over on Rapid Reviews. I tell a story in there about like I didn't grow up with a dad, so I never really understood the whole father-daughter bond. I still don't, if I'm just being perfectly honest. I didn't meet my dad until I was an adult. And he was a great guy, and it was wonderful. But, I mean, I'm still very confused by stuff. And, but I had this band director, and he was amazing, and he kind of became my substitute dad type thing. And I talk about in the article
Yeah, I
about
remember
how
this.
he was like, "You're about to go on a ride, Kylie." It was a 3D ride. I didn't know that I couldn't see in 3D at the time, because I know I had weird eyes at the time. He's like, "You're about to go on a ride, Kylie. That is, it has a 3D part where a snake is gonna jump out from the screen and he's gonna try and eat you. Now, I want you to know that's not real." Now, guys, I was like 16. That's not real, and I want you to close your eyes when that happens, and you won't be scared. That touched my heart. Even at 16, I was like, oh. So when I watched this scene, when Joel is talking to Sarah and saying, don't look at them, don't look, just look at me. I'm just like, oh my gosh, that I can relate to. I can actually relate to something.
Yeah,
so, that is a
that was the
beautiful
thing
moment.
that the thing that kind of got to me was when obviously Joel comes out of completely nowhere
Yeah.
and kills the old woman.
Yeah.
And you see the look on Sarah's face, and he's just like, "Whoa,
Yeah,
okay." And then
that
he
just traumatized this
takes the
kid.
moment. He has to take the moment. It was like she wasn't her. Like that's
Yeah.
not her. I had to do it. Like, and
Yeah.
it was heartbreaking. And then
See,
obviously what happens to her after that is even more heartbreaking. But you know,
yeah, well, see, that's the thing is that I think they're trying, without oversaturating us, they're trying to show Joel does have father instincts. I think.
hmm
I think that's what we're trying to say. I mean, obviously he does.
they are trying to, yeah.
But they've got it so dialed back that I think it's going to explode later on and later
Yeah,
episodes. That's my hope.
yeah.
Because if we stay
I,
at this level, I don't know how that's gonna happen. I don't know how that's
Yeah,
gonna work.
I think I do have a minor bit of an issue with that because it did sort of feel like Sarah was taking control of everything in the very early stages. Like
Yes, this is what I'm
he wasn't
saying.
really a dad at
That's
all.
exactly,
He was just a
exactly.
layabout, sort of just does his job and then comes home, sort of thing.
Yeah, and like I said, yes, in the game, Sarah is kind of motherly for an 11-year-old, but not like it's a. They have a relationship. You can feel.
Yeah,
This was like two roommates. Like
yeah,
it was
I get
odd.
that,
I didn't even
and I think
feel the glow with the watch.
no, I didn't either. But I think a lot of that is down to Pedro Pascal
I know.
more
That's what I'm
so than
worried
Nico
about.
Parker.
Yeah, no, I would say it's something to do with the direction, as in the director, the direction,
hmm
and Pedro, which, oh gosh, you know what, it could all change. It could be a slow build up, and maybe he didn't have a feel for the character just yet. Because from what I read, they told him not to play the game, and he snuck and played it anyway. So I don't know at what
Well,
point
that
he played it.
uh, now to me, I worry about that. Or
I
why you're
do
telling
too.
people not to touch your source
That's
material.
because that's the whole new thing, and that's. Let me just say, I want to interrupt right quick, but it's still in our subject matter. But I don't blame. Oh, what's his name? The Witcher. I forgot his name.
Henry Cavill.
Henry Cavill. I don't blame him 1 minute from walking off that set and leaving, uh,
hmm
because he was right, 1,000%.
Yep.
They didn't listen to him. They should have listened to him. They said, nope, we're
Yeah.
not using source material. We're going against it, blah, blah. That's the new thing. Everybody's going against source material. Well, guess what? They didn't do that, at least so far, in The Last of Us, and it worked.
hmm
I don't understand. It's like, okay, small soapbox here. I was playing the new Command and Conquer, the re-release, this week.
Oh yeah.
They did so flippin' well on that, and especially compared to the disaster that Warcraft was, because they kept the original everything. Like it's like the Halo 2 redone thing. You can flip back and forth between modern graphics and old graphics. The feel is still there. They haven't changed the story beats. They just upgraded the visuals. They upgraded some of the cute little Easter eggs and stuff like that, like the installer and stuff. It's perfect. That's what gamers want. They want that in their games. They want just the same thing but upgraded. Don't change it. And I want that in their freaking entertainment. Stop changing things.
Yeah.
They talk about the curse, and of TV shows and movies and stuff like that. I think the curse got broken a couple years ago. I mean, maybe Sonic.
Oh,
You know.
I think. Well, this actually does lead into something later on that I want to discuss.
I
So
mean,
we'll
we can.
save that moment.
Oh,
No,
okay.
there's a couple more things that I want to discuss about the first episode
Well,
before
yeah,
we
yeah.
move
That's
on to that.
I was gonna say you go ahead because, really, I'm just like touching on little like nitpicky things like.
Oh, I know, but you've kind of sort of stumbled onto an idea I had anyway of what
Okay.
this episode was gonna actually be, but it's gone in a completely different direction I thought it would.
Of course it does. It always does.
It
Um,
always does anyway. But so I wanted to talk about some of the actors that were and actresses or actors,
yeah.
whatever you want to say.
Actor.
Some of them, some of them are great. Some of them are okay. Some of them need to be fleshed out probably a little bit more. So
Well,
we'll wait and see on that. Obviously, as a first episode, like there's not. They're obviously waiting to build some of them up a little
yeah.
bit further.
I do have two that I like. I think they did well on.
Go on.
I think they did Tess really well, and I believe.
Okay, I'm glad you mentioned that.
I believe she's the actor that's in Manhunter, which is one of my favorite Netflix shows. Um,
It's not because everyone's had the same problem.
oh, really?
What series did you say?
Manhunter or something like that? It's
Mindhunter, you mean?
Mindhunter, that's it. Manhunter.
Yeah,
is
she
the
was in that.
other one. Okay, so that is her. Good
Yeah.
actress. And then the one that's playing. Oh, come on! Did I really just blank out on her name? The leader of the Dadgum Fireflies, Michelle.
Oh.
I've just blanked out her name. It's like the most
Yes, I
important
do.
name, and I just.
Yeah, I know. I've blanked on it as well, which is annoying.
I really appreciate that they got two actresses that were older.
You mean Marlene?
Marlene, thank you. I just could
Yeah.
not. They're older women, which makes me very happy. They're
Mhm.
not makeup and hair done up in apocalypse times. Looking at you, the first season of
No,
the zombie show that I just, The Walking Dead.
Walking Dead.
Yeah. They're like, oh, we'll just take their eyeliner off. Oh, they're in the apocalypse. Oh.
No, because
And later
that's the
on,
thing
they did better, but.
Well, to be fair, there's a thing that you notice actually a bit more in the second episode, especially because a lot of it is focused around like the three characters that you're left with at the end.
Yeah.
Especially Tess.
Yes.
You can see the grey hairs. You can
love
see
that.
like I do as well. It's
Yeah.
pretty authentic that they've
And
actually done that.
Everyone's hair is like frizzy and stuff and hasn't
Yep.
been washed. And I just, yes, give me authenticity.
Which sort of leads me on to the funny thing that I wanted to
Okay.
mention.
Sure.
So because of Tess, I recognise the actress,
Mm-hmm.
and it comes back to a show that I watched years ago.
Right.
I
Okay.
never finished.
Oh, right.
Because of this, I've now gone back and started watching it, and because she's the main character of a
Alright.
show called Fringe.
I never watched that, but I
Oh, it's-
remember when it was
Oh,
out.
it's so good!
People loved
It's so
it.
good.
I was busy at clubs.
No, trust me, I would highly recommend it. It would be so your thing.
People were always telling me that. Did it end well? I don't like watching series.
I don't-
that don't end. That's why I don't watch The Walking Dead.
Why do you think I'm rewatching it? I never
Alright,
finished
okay.
it.
Good point. Okay.
But
Yeah.
yeah, she's the main actress in Fringe, and I
Oh,
recognised her.
right.
I was like, what do I recognise her from? And then because of it, I've now started rewatching it
Oh,
again.
that's
After.
great. Yeah, because
So
Well, you
yeah,
let me
she does
know.
a great job.
yeah, she's a great
Well,
actress.
Yeah,
And then, but those two are so far stand out to me. I cannot
Yeah, I
wait
agree.
to see what's his face from Parks and Rec.
Oh yeah, I know who you're talking about. But I
Has-
can't remember his name either.
Yeah, I've just
Bill
blanked out.
Offerman.
Yes, that's it. Hofferman. Nick Hofferman. Nick
Nick
Offerman.
Offerman, yeah.
Nick Offerman. Yes. What?
Oh yes,
she
she
really?
was. Yeah,
Oh,
yeah. She.
That was my teenage, like, I wanted to be her so bad. I used to dye my hair red. Yeah, Garbage was like a great band.
Never got into them myself.
Oh
not
my
kind of
gosh,
thing, but
I
hey.
was so hardcore into them, but like 5 years later than everyone else. And they did a song that never ever even charted. It was on the soundtrack of Romeo and Juliet.
I've heard it.
The Shakespeare one. I love that song so much. I need to do a cover
Okay.
of it. Anyway, that is way off subject.
Yeah.
So those two I think are very strong actresses, and
Hmm.
oh yeah, that's what I wanted to say. I just want to applaud the creators for keeping strong women, because in the end of the world and the apocalypse, there are going to be some women who are going to rise up and be strong. You know,
Hmm.
we don't have to do the whole damsel in distress, and we don't have to do the demented psycho that's in Walking Dead. It's just strong women don't have to be crazy.
No, that's true.
Yeah. But again, bear in mind, I watched like 3 episodes ever of The Walking Dead, ever in my entire life. So I could be wrong about everything. But, Pete, what did you think of the... I was going to call them zombies. I guess you're not supposed to call them that. But, you know, the spores and tendrils on the walls and stuff. What do you think of that?
Oh, they're freaky.
Yeah.
I really like this is
Good,
part,
right?
definitely part of the thing of what I said about the set designs. Like
Mhm.
they've really thought very, very well about that. I don't want to obviously go into too much detail because they have a moment specifically in the second episode where they do bring it up.
Oh, right?
And
Okay.
yeah, so I'm not going into too much detail, but
Okay.
you get a bit of a better look at them, and oh my god, they're freaking brilliant.
Oh, wow. Is it, oh, who is the guy that did The Fly?
Oh, I can't
I
remember.
forgot his name. I'm just forgetting everybody's name this episode, which you're not supposed to do on a podcast. You're never supposed to go, oh, that, because it makes your audience go, ah.
Yeah, I know, because even I've just done it. I'm like,
It's not
what?
John. It's not James. Anyway, the guy, Cronenberg. Ha ha!
Oh, David Cronenberg.
Yes. It seems like they're gonna look very Cronenberg, Ian. But I've
Yeah,
only
kind of.
seen like stills and stuff, and I keep
Yeah, but
avoiding
this,
it. Like,
yeah, true. But you have to remember as well that the people who made this made the miniseries Chernobyl,
oh, that's
and
supposed
that's
to be
where.
really good.
Oh, I know. That's why I'm currently looking on my phone to see if it's on Sky so I can watch it because it was one that
But
I wanted to
yeah.
watch and missed.
So, what do you think then overall, Pete?
Uh,
I know we don't do scores, but
First episode I would say was a solid 8.5.
very good.
Like,
That's good
actually,
from you.
sorry, wait, we review out of 5 on here, so
Oh,
yeah, I'd
gosh.
give it.
Okay.
So it'd have to be between a 3.5 and a 4 for me because I think this is fairly positive. Like I said, a couple of little nitpicks here and there, mostly
Yeah.
in terms of characterization and actors and actresses portraying them, and a little bit worry about them. It's still early days, of course. I would like to say that some of it has been alleviated with the second episode, but I don't think some of it has.
Right. Okay.
But we can obviously discuss that in a bit more detail when you watch the second episode.
Yep. I think what we'll do, if Pete, it's totally up to you, and we're doing this, of course, organically as we normally do. What if we save the last 30 minutes of every show and do a quick little talk about it?
I mean, we could do. We could
Just
do a
'cause
little
it's-
discussion on it.
Yeah, it's only like what, 6 weeks, 8 weeks?
I think so. And yes, Chernobyl is on Sky, so I think I'm watching that.
I just want to know if it has a good ending. I don't want to watch things that don't have endings. Like, they don't have to be, like, good as in rainbows and puppy dogs. They can be terrible endings, but they need to be endings.
Yeah.
So many American TV shows, they don't have endings, and I don't
That's
even
because
watch
most
them.
of them get annexed, like,
They do.
far too early.
Exactly. I mean,
look at Futurama. Had, like, a really good ending, and then had a really
Yeah.
crappy. And then had a good ending, and then a crappy ending, so...
like, Hannibal is the only one that it's got an iffy ending, but you can put in your head canon whether it's, which direction it goes. So I put up with that, but outside of that, I don't like shows that don't have an ending. I need a finale. I need closure.
Yeah, I'm the same. The annoying side of it is more...
There's always an ending on British shows, right?
Yeah, but it's not always good.
Well, I mean, that is true.
I mean, like, there are some series that I've watched over the years, and bearing in mind, I've watched a lot of American series as well over the years, not just British. So I always get disappointed with most endings because, especially when you invested something for that long, you always get an idea in your head how you think it should end, and it
Hmm.
never delivers.
No, it really
Um,
doesn't.
so what was the one that? Oh, Breaking Bad was probably one
I
of the
never.
worst offenders for me.
I have never watched Breaking Bad. I tried and I hated all the characters. And you're supposed to. I
That's the
fully,
point.
yep,
That is the
I
point.
fully acknowledge that, but I just couldn't, guys. I just couldn't. There's
Yeah, that's
not,
fair. I get
yeah.
you need someone to root for at some
Yes, and I
certain points,
couldn't.
and everyone is such an arsehole in that
They
show.
really are. And they start to get a little bit of humanity and then they just,
But
I'm like,
that's what they're supposed to do. They're supposed to show you that they still have that small shred of humanity
oh,
left in them. But then everyone becomes such a jerk.
oh,
There is only one person in that show who's completely redeemable,
yeah, the son,
and
right?
that's the son.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But I mean, just no.
Yeah, but yeah, I built up this idea of how I wanted it to end, although like
Yeah.
whilst watching it, and then I watched the actual ending they delivered, and it's not a bad one.
Mm-hmm.
It's the most expected ending you could probably get, but it's
Right.
not how I envisioned it, and it was always sort of that minor bit of disappointment for me as a result of it. I think the same thing happens with comedy series, like
Oh yeah.
drama series, like everything. Even endings to long-running film franchises can have the
Oh
same.
yeah, yeah, you're correct. Yeah,
I,
absolutely.
even to a point, Lord of the Rings has a slightly disappointing ending.
I kind of
There's
thought,
far too many of them.
yeah, I kind of thought they were gonna go further with it, and
Hmm.
then The Hobbit came out. Well, I mean,
Yeah, I just refuse to even talk about The Hobbit. I've not watched it, but I've not watched any of the three movies because I refuse to.
I haven't watched it because people said it's very hard on the eyes, and I'm so weird, you know. So
Yeah,
you get kind of nauseous.
I just thought the idea of adapting a book that can be read in
I
30
know.
minutes into a 9-hour series of movies was a pointless waste of time.
It's ridiculous. I
Not even
mean,
Benedict Cumberbatch's smile could get me interested.
it's very weird that they went in that direction. I guess just money. But
Yeah.
anyway, Pete, do we have any more to talk about on Last of Us? Because I'm sleepy.
In terms of Last of Us, probably not. In
Okay.
terms of video game
Hmm.
adaptations, which
Yes,
is the idea I thought I was going to have for this
I
episode,
know. But
was
then
to
we watched
discuss.
them.
I know, but this was to discuss certain adaptations that we've had from video games and compare them to how we think that it's been adapted, but by comparison to The Last of Us.
Right. Okay.
So I wanted to run through a couple of series that we have out, and this is refusing to touch some of the stuff that we've had from the 90s because that's aged like boiled piss, let's say.
Oh gosh. Well, can we just say, and I know people are going to totally disagree with me, only because I saw it in my library earlier. Um, I love the Zelda cartoon, mostly because he goes, "Excuse me, princess." Well, I think it was a
Yeah,
good
we're
adaptation. So.
I know, but I'm just refusing to acknowledge some of them. There's also a lot that I can't talk about because some of them are animes.
Oh right. Oh, because
Um,
like your things, Street Fighter.
really
Yeah.
watch anime.
Yeah. But there are Street Fighter movies.
There is, but I've watched those anyway. So
Yeah.
I guess we could start out on the
Yeah.
Street Fighter 2 animated movie, which I think is probably the most perfect adaptation of the source material that you can get.
It's good, and also not only just for the time period, but even now the animation is so good.
Oh yeah, I watch it every year
What?
without fail because it's on YouTube and it's still even watching in lower quality on YouTube, it still
Well,
pops.
see,
For a 1994 movie, it is ridiculously good looking.
it's weird to me because I used to watch Spider Man. Well, obviously I watched the X Men, but they're not part of this conversation. That
No.
animation is terrible. But Spider Man, at the time, I was like, "Oh, this is the best animation I've ever seen in my life." I went back and watched that like a couple of weeks ago just to see a
iPad.
scene. It's aged horribly. I mean, it's still
Mm,
strong animation, blah blah.
yeah,
But at the time, I thought it was groundbreaking, and now I'm like, oh. But Street
yeah,
Fighter, the movie, animated movie,
yep.
absolutely beautiful. Still.
Yeah. Another one on that as well. I can't remember what it was called. Was it Street Fighter Alpha? Hmm. They
Okay.
did another one, but I can't remember whether it was Alpha or Zero that they called
Mm,
it. But it was basically the proper introduction to
mhm.
Goki or Akuma.
Yes.
Yeah, but that one was decent, not quite the same, let's say. But in terms of an adaptation that worked in terms of Street Fighter as well, Assassin's Fist.
Oh, right. Okay.
Have you never watched it?
Is that the one with the naked people?
No.
Okay.
No, so Street Fighter Assassin's Fist originally started out as a web series on Machinima.
Oh, right. Oh, I used to love
Uh,
Machinima.
but yeah, it has now been translated into a 2.5 hour movie.
Right.
And
Okay.
considering it's a fan project originally,
Right.
my God, is it good?
Oh, wow.
It's really good, and it goes into a story that you don't really get to talk about very frequently,
Right.
which is the story of Goken and Akuma.
Right. Yeah, they're not usually featured.
No. So it's a really interesting story actually, and it's probably one of my favorite adaptations from a video game property.
Mhm.
But I wanted to talk about stuff that was a little bit more recent, let's
Mhm.
say,
Okay.
because we've had a few over the last couple of years that have been really really interesting for various different reasons.
Right.
Some good and some bad. And I also wanted to talk about some of the ones that are upcoming as well and some predictions potentially.
Okay.
So, in terms of the good ones that we've had recently,
Right.
I can't say for sure, but everyone raves about it. I'm going to bring it up because it always gets brought up. Arcane.
Oh, okay. Yes. Arcane is the most perfect film I've ever seen in my life.
Series, you mean?
Well, series. It's like a film to me because I watched it unbroken.
Yeah, I know, but I
And I
also
don't
brought it
do
up.
that. I don't do
Yeah,
that.
I know.
I
It's
don't have
also
the
my
brain power.
I know. It's also my jab at you for, again that
Yes.
can't watch Arcane.
Yeah, well, now you can blame Netflix. Netflix.
Yeah, I can blame Netflix for that one. But
Yeah.
um, we
Even the
also had
best channels.
Cyberpunk Edge Runners that ended up being such a universal success that it put Cyberpunk 2077 back on the Steam charts.
Yeah. I'm thinking about watching it. I don't know, though.
I would, but Netflix.
Yeah.
So yeah, another one of those. So get back to me when you do actually watch it because I'll be interested to hear what you think because I've heard really good things about it.
Yeah, I think I might give it a try.
Now, I wanted to mention one that's more centered towards kids, despite the game not being centered towards kids specifically.
Right?
But I've heard it's also very good, so you might have to watch this on Netflix too.
Okay.
The Cuphead Show.
Oh, yeah. So, okay, let's talk about that for 2 seconds. Um, Cuphead is like I love mid-century and early century art, fashion, style, decorating, all of that. So
Yeah,
Cuphead's art style is right up my alley. I love it. I
it's
try.
crazy good. I love it.
Oh, it's amazing, and it's hand done, or it was at the time hand done and stuff. Um, the TV show, they did it different, and they did it on a computer, and it doesn't have the same feel at all for me. For me
Yeah.
personally. So I couldn't get into it because, to be fair, it's not. You don't play Cuphead for the story, you know.
No, you don't. You play it for the visuals and
Mm-hmm.
for the
And the
incredibly tight
hardcore.
platforming.
Yeah, exactly. Um, so I kind of think that was now people are gonna disagree with me, and that's okay. But for me, I think that was an L. Cuphead.
Well, I like the art style to it, but it's not quite as striking as
Right.
the game was. But obviously, it's supposed to be centered towards a younger demographic, let's say.
Yeah.
So the episodes are shorter. I think they're like 15, 20 minutes. I think.
Yeah, which is fine because I love 15-minute cartoons.
Yeah. So I think
Perfect.
that for that reason, it's not exactly a show for us. But anybody who probably played the game and may have kids might enjoy it. I
Right.
reckon. So, But I want to talk about some bad ones.
Okay.
But before that, I have to mention what I think is probably, for me, what I've watched so far is the utter pinnacle of what a great adaptation can do.
Uh-huh.
And that is Netflix Castlevania.
Oh, isn't it wonderful?
Oh, atmospheric. It's fantastically well
Oh,
acted. It's the animation style is incredible. The story is brilliant.
and they
You know,
used Gaius Baltar from Battlestar Galactica,
yep.
Alucard, so
Oh, it's so good, but I only
it's
watched the
excellent.
first 2 seasons of it.
It's also written by, I don't care, it's written by Warren Ellis, who I love and adore, and I know he got in some trouble a couple years
Yeah.
ago, but he's back. He's writing for like the BBC again and stuff, and
Oh,
he
okay.
is one of my favorite writers. And I know you should not separate the art from the artist, and I know he did horrible things, but he was very nice to me, and he did a wonderful thing
Okay.
for me. He did a wonderful favor for me.
Fair enough.
I
But
love him.
yeah, I forgot that he was actually involved in that project. But I
Yeah,
don't care. I'm
he's a
separating
producer.
art from artists because I think Castlevania is that damn good.
It's so good. It's so good.
That opening episode just sets everything up so perfectly. Like the
Yeah.
visual aesthetic that you get of like
Oh, it's so
of
good.
all this just the fields of dead bodies.
Yeah,
Just oh my god,
it
so
is.
cool. And actually, I really like Dracula in it. I think he's
Oh,
so good.
Dracula's like, yeah.
I think he's
Oh,
so good.
you can see why he would be able to. What is it called when they entrance people? But that
Charm the pants off.
charm the people they eat. I forget what
Yeah.
that's called. You can see how he does. You know, he's a cartoon
Mm.
character and he's got charisma leaking out of his ears. It's crazy.
Yeah.
Oh, it's crazy.
Oh, the first time you meet Trevor as well is just so gloriously good.
It's good. It's good. Yeah, I'm gonna have to go with Pete on this one and say, yep, it's a good one.
I think it's top tier. I think it's the top tier of terms of video game adaptations.
Yeah. Yeah.
And obviously, that's not talking about some of the animated, like the anime ones, like Persona. I could have mentioned Ace Attorney, but I don't think Ace Attorney's that great anyway.
Yeah.
Watch the movie of it, the live action movie that was
gosh.
only in Japan because it's hilarious.
Yeah, that's what I heard.
Oh no, but it's actually really good though. But the anime is awful. It's so bad. Yeah, obviously I can't mention about some of those, but I want to talk about some bad ones, and I'm going to mention a couple in particular.
Okay.
Because how would we not get through without talking about The Witcher Blood Origin?
Yes, you're correct.
Oh, that's apparently really awful. I've heard such seriously, savagely terrible things about it.
I am disappointed on so many levels. You know what? I'm just disappointed. Witcher, outside of.
I also was
game.
just going to mention The Witcher show
I was
as a
gonna
whole.
say, Witcher, all your things outside of your game, mostly 3, but I'll say okay, all 3 games. I'm disappointed in you, not Henry Cavill. I'm very appointed in you, whatever the opposite of disappointed is. Very proud of you.
Oh my god. I
What?
forgot about that too. Rock'em Sock'em Hulk, I'm still traumatized by the Donkey Kong Country cartoon Banana Slammer.
Oh my goodness, I barely remember that. I do remember, but
It's,
I barely
it's
remember.
quite bad. Oh, I was a big fan of Donkey Kong Country. That was an embarrassment to watch.
Well, I still love the Super Mario show.
Oh, that's on my good ones, by the way. 'Cause it still is good.
I'm sorry if this is making noise in the mic, but I'm just dying. I'm like
I can't
cold and
barely hear it.
thirsty. Okay.
No. Anyway, let's not talk more about The Witcher. I'm going to mention one final last bad one for you,
Okay.
and this one cuts pretty deep.
Oh no.
Halo.
Halo, the animated one?
Halo.
Or you mean Halo the
The god awful Paramount Plus show.
Which, okay, I said this on my Twitter, and I don't know if anybody saw it, but everyone was making jokes about how The Last of Us was, was not great because it wasn't playable, and the intro was the demo was too long, and blah blah blah.
Mm-hmm.
Kieran sat on this show almost a year ago. I think it's like 9 months ago or something, and made the joke, that same joke about Halo. He was like, "That's the problem with Halo series. It's just, it's unplayable." I thought that was the most hilarious thing, and we said it first. So, meh, to everyone. But
yeah, I
that's
mean,
the only good thing about Halo that I could say.
yep. I'm trying to remember how many episodes I watched before I noped out of it.
I made it. Well, I made it 2 full episodes, and then I would watch clips from the other ones, and then as soon as Master Chief went to
Goes buck wild.
Pound Town,
Yeah, that's
in
what I
front
mean
of
by buck wild.
yes, in front of Cortana, I was like, I'm out. You guys have broke my heart. I'm done. It's only so much Master Chief rear end you can see, and it just doesn't save it.
Yeah, it was bad. It was not good at
No,
all. I think I got 4 in and I'm done.
Halo is the perfect example of going against your source material. I don't know why. They had everything. They had Jen Taylor as Cortana. You cannot beat that. They had Master Chief's armor was dead perfect.
Oh, it was great.
They never put him in it. All of the Covenant were amazing, except for when they did the weird vision and it made them weird looking. I know they were trying to do HUD like the game, but it.
Oh, I agree. The Covenant was done so very well in that show, which is a huge disappointment.
All the pieces were in place, but it's just like Witcher. You don't have a good script, you don't have anything.
Yeah.
That's just it. People aren't stupid. They need a good story. It doesn't have to be a deep story. It doesn't even have to be, a particularly good story, but it has to be cohesive and it needs some emotional beats.
Oh, of course.
And they just,
So I wanted to, what was it? There's any... Sorry.
Pete's looking up something. Listeners.
I was, but no, I was having a look at something because I wanted to talk about some potential series that are upcoming based on video games as well.
Right, okay.
And these are the ones I picked out that probably are the most surprising.
Did you get my favorite? You'll know.
I don't know. Let's find out.
Okay.
So these are ones that came up.
About mine. But yes.
I think I know which one you mean. So we'll start with it. Fallout.
Okay. Yes. So Fallout. They have released some stills from the set.
Yeah, I've seen those.
They're so perfect. I'm a little nervous because it is Amazon.
Yeah.
But this could be the next The Last of Us, but quirky. It would have to be a quirky Last of Us. If they don't have quirky, it's not Fallout. This could be the next thing, and I am so excited for that. Like, as soon as I saw those sets, I was like, okay, this is someone, whoever's designing these at least knows what they're doing,
Which is good.
Yeah.
I guess the good thing about that is that it's a property that is quite well known to a lot of people, but it's also the fact that it's based on an art style and a particular set design that is very recognizable as well, which is the retro futuristic look.
Yes. It's what made me fall in love with the retro futuristic look, and by that same token, what made me fall in love with mid-century stuff. It was all Fallout influenced that. That's why I bought this house. This house is called a time capsule house because it had all the same furniture from 1968. Everything was in place as if they just walked out, and that's why I love it so much. I've got architectural features that are like so Fallout, but 1968. I don't know. It's just so cool. I love it.
Yeah. I would say that I'm a bit worried about the Fallout series.
Why? Because it's Amazon?
Yes.
Yeah. I think that's
I'm a bit concerned about that based on what happened with Rings of Power.
Rings of Power started strong and then it just kind of faded for me. I tried to hang in there because I don't care about some of the stuff that a lot of people are angry about. Like, I don't care. I love me more women with swords, please. But look, I'm gonna be honest though. I'm gonna be dead freaking honest. Pete, you're gonna have to blank that.
That was close.
They didn't have one handsome man in there until they got Sauron in there, and that's not good. Why would you make your bad guy? Like, I know why they made the bad guy the hot guy, but don't do that.
Look, I could go into a lot more details about some of the things that were egregious, but I'm not going to because
Yeah.
sod that show. It's not worth my time even thinking about it anymore.
They lost me towards the end. They did. I'm 100%.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right. Anyway, well, Amazon being involved in it is one of the biggest worries for me. But I don't know. I'm just because I'm not as familiar with Fallout. I wonder how they're gonna do it.
Um,
I'm wondering whether or not they're going to do it as like a Monster of the Week style, or whether it will have a narrative involved. And if it does, what the hell is that narrative even gonna be?
it's gonna have to be a. Okay, I'm gonna be honest here. I would prefer a male lead, but it does not have to be. It could be male or female lead. I really don't care. Searching for something.
Mm-hmm.
Someone who's out of time, as in the wrong time.
Yep.
Searching for something, and then uh, and then on top of that, do a monster of the week so that they can go, oh, super mutants here, you know,
Raiders.
Cazadors. Oh my gosh.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh. Okay, see, I don't have a
Anyway.
fear response, but if they put Cazadors on Scream, I might have my first fear response to a TV
Okay.
show. Ugh.
Anyway, I'm gonna run through a couple that were quite surprising to see that they had TV shows for.
Mm-hmm.
First of all, being Plague Tale.
Oh, that's interesting.
Hmm.
Seems like it would
Quite
be
a
a good one.
recent series of games that I'm
Yeah,
surprised that they're adapting into a
that could be
set.
good. That could be
I
good.
mean, it might work. It
Depends
might
on
not. I
how
have
they
no
do
idea.
it. Yeah.
Yeah.
I think we
Um.
will see a lot of media coming out in the next, I would say next 2 years at least, if not 5 years, about plagues, pandemics, and stuff like that. I think we'll see a lot of that. So.
Yes, I think we will. Okay. The one that surprised me the most when I was looking through this list. I'm trying to remember. Devolver Digital. We know what they're like.
Yes.
We know that most of their
Can
games
be
barely
funny.
have a story.
Yes. They're mostly
How is My
silly.
Friend Pedro getting a bloody TV series
What?
then?
What?
Yeah, I
How?
know.
How? No, that must be no. How? Are they gonna
I
have
don't know.
banana
I don't know.
just sitting on screen?
Yeah, I don't know.
Banana in their
I
office.
really don't know.
Just to film it.
The only thing I can think of is because of how the game is structured, and yes, I own it and played it, and it was quite good.
Oh, it's a good. Yeah. No, it's a good. Like it's a
Uh,
funny.
it'll be,
Well, it's not funny, but you know what I mean.
it will likely probably be irreverent humor, really weird, and
Probably.
it'll probably be very similar to what a John Wick TV series would be like.
Oh wow.
Over the
Yeah.
top absurd action.
Yeah. I see. Yeah.
Yeah. Anyway, another one that surprised the hell out of me because the game hasn't even come out and it's been 8 years.
Of course.
Skull and Bones.
Oh right. Oh gosh.
Yeah.
Oh dear.
Yeah, didn't understand why they were putting that into a TV show.
I feel like, although I think Ubisoft has done something recently with Skull and Bones, but
Yeah, delayed it again.
was that it? Okay. I
Yeah.
feel like it's not a real game. Like it's a pretend thing. You know what I mean? Like they're BSing on
I know.
this.
No, they have to apparently release it because they've had a grant from some government across the world that means that if they don't, then
Oh,
they have to pay
gosh.
it back.
Oh dear.
Anyway, the final one that surprised me, but I will go through this little list that I've curated.
Mm-hmm.
So, think of any property, video game property from the late 90s to the early 2000s
Uh-huh.
that was hugely popular but has
Half-Life.
had absolutely nothing had to it in years.
Half-Life.
Good idea, but no.
Oh. Is this a Nintendo property or
No, it is not. It was on the PlayStation.
I was gonna say Crash. Crash has come out.
I think they've had 4 games in the series. Might be slightly more.
Right. Ooh.
It hasn't. I don't think it's had a game since a very infamous. It has had a game since, but there was a very infamous entry into the game for the wrong reasons.
Oh no. this hot coffee and GTA?
It is. It is not. I think if there was a GTA series, you'd hear about it by now.
Oh, I'd be all over that.
But you're close. Surprisingly, you're close.
All right. Okay.
Driver.
Oh, wait, I thought Driver did have a movie. No, that's Manhunt.
They were hoping to have a movie at one point.
Was that it? But Manhunt
But
came out.
they've got a Driver series coming out at some point soon.
Oh my gosh, that's weird. That's
Oh,
weird.
I know.
I mean, it could be good though.
Yeah, I could see it working, but the problem is they've already had like films with Jason Statham. Is essentially that premise.
Gosh, those are so. You mean the? Oh, what were
The
they called?
Transporter.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's the same bloody premise.
That's the one with the heart thing, right?
No, that's Crank.
Oh, Crank. I love Crank.
Crank's hilarious.
Don't single that out.
Yeah, Nana has asked, how would that work? Yeah, don't know.
Yeah, it's a weird one.
Anyway, let me run through the
Jason
list of ones that I've found that were not a surprise. Some of them weren't. Mass Effect.
Is there I thought there was already a movie about that.
Nope, there's a show coming out about it at some
Maybe
point.
that's it, yeah.
Alan Wake.
Now that will work. That will 100% work as a film/series.
Yep.
Yeah.
God of War.
God of War, look, I'm on the side of Christopher Judge. I'm on that team Christopher Judge as what's his face? I'm tired.
Kratos.
Yes. Wow, I'm very tired. So
Horizon.
which is weird, but I mean it could be good.
Could work.
There's a lot of post-apocalyptic stuff coming out.
There is. Assassin's Creed.
It's already a movie.
Yeah, but they clearly want to rectify that.
Fastenberger, how do you say his name?
Fassbender.
Fassbender. This is why Pete's here, because I don't know names.
Okay. And the final one, which this one is the least surprising out of all of them. And how they've not done a series out of this already. Life is Strange.
I am that's very least surprised. I definitely agree, Pete. I thought that would be some kind of movie of the week in the next year.
I would have thought it would have come out like after the second game.
Because that's back when like Riverdale and 13 Reasons Why and all that stuff was coming out. That would have been
Exactly.
Yeah.
Anyway, that's my list. Those are the ones that we got upcoming. Some decent recommendations there as well. But I have to pose the question to you. Of the ones that were on the list that we mentioned, how many of them come even close to The Last of Us in terms of its adaptation?
Look, I am very biased because, again, restating what I've restated 1,000 gazillion times, The Last of Us Part 1 has some of the best narrative that I've ever witnessed, in a game, definitely, but even outside of a game, just in entertainment. And there isn't really another... Oh, God. See, I have to phrase this very carefully for a reason. Neil Druckmann did not write The Last of Us Part 1.
No, he was
It was
involved.
A team. It was a dadgum team.
Yeah, but he's taking sole credit for it now, basically.
Yeah, and I'm very annoyed at that because that team did a great job.
They did, yeah.
And you can't find many narrative games of that caliber because they don't have the same team behind them. It was not down to an individual. And I do stand by that. And I really can't think of... I'm trying to think of what games made me cry. Oh, frickin' heck. Literally frickin' heck. Sitting here, of course, if you got a team like that together and you created a Red Dead movie, I'm a puddle in the theater already. From crying, not from anything else.
I mean, I could see them doing a movie out of it one day.
Oh, and if what's-his-face was Roger Clark got to be Arthur...
I guess it would depend on how they decide to adapt that in whether it be animated or whether it be live action.
Oh no,
because
they did a live
as good as it Yeah, but as good as it can be,
Hmm.
like not everyone that does great voice work is naturally gifted in terms of an on-screen presence.
Well, you're 100% right. First of all, Troy Baker, cough, cough. Um,
Yeah, there are
but,
some that obviously
uh,
that tend to do both very, very well.
but Roger Clark does both well. I actually don't think Troy Baker's a good actor. Um,
I think
and
Troy Baker's a great
he's
voiceover
great,
artist.
yeah. Except I don't like him as Deadpool. I saw that argument going around. No, he's not Deadpool. Um, that's just
Oh
me.
God.
Uh,
Nana, I could have mentioned any of the Final
oh
Fantasy
gosh.
stuff and chose not to. The only one that I've heard that is somewhat mostly okay was Kingsglaive, but
I remember because Final Fantasy was like a huge franchise for me growing up.
mm,
I love JRPGs growing up. It's weird because I don't go back to them now. And when Advent Children came out, I think that was the first one, or it was the first one I was aware of, and I was like, "Oh, this is gonna be, oh my gosh, look at this, it's so amazing," and then it was terrible. I was like, "This is a Final Fantasy 7."
there's
So,
only two good things about Advent Children.
what's that?
Only two good things.
Uh huh.
The rest is absolutely shambolic
The
and
music.
ridiculous. The music, still done by Nobuo
Yeah,
Uematsu,
exactly.
unbelievable. I've still got that
Yeah.
soundtrack on. It slaps. It still
Yep.
slaps.
Agree with you there.
The Cloud and Sephiroth fight at the very end is
Okay.
unbelievably cool as hell.
It is very cool. Still didn't make up for the rest of the train wreck.
No, it did.
Haha.
I mean,
Uh,
what the hell? The Stigmata? What the
I don't
frick
like.
was that?
Yeah. Just no.
Yeah, I
Anyway,
know.
we need to wrap
Look,
this up.
I know we do, but yeah, just that final voice line from Sephiroth is like, I will never be a
Oh
memory.
yeah.
It still gives me chills. It's
Yeah.
like, oh, it's so freaking cool.
I think that's what sucks more. Like, you can have something like Assassin's Creed movie, which is just terrible. But then you can get movies where you can see the potential. Well, I'm going to go ahead and say it. I know people are going to disagree, but the Street Fighter movie, it's not a great movie. It's
Awful.
okay, good. But when Raul Julia says that line,
No. Raul Julia is the only thing redeemable about that movie in every scene that he's
and that,
in.
yes, and that right there makes it hurt more when the movie is bad because you
Yes.
see the potential and you're like, oh my gosh, so. And yes, Nana, it's fun, and so is Mortal Kombat. I love Mortal Kombat. I absolutely
No,
love the first one. I haven't seen the
wait,
new one.
no. I will not have any slander about that because the first Mortal Kombat movie is
Oh,
actually legitimately still good.
I love that movie. I have not
Yeah, I mean
seen.
it's schlocky, it's
Oh,
kind
it's
of terrible
terrible.
in some
No, it's
aspects, but
terrible.
it like in terms of an adaptation, I should have
Or
mentioned it.
whatever his
It's
name
actually
is.
pretty spot
No,
on.
it was like, okay. I mean, obviously, I don't think we would have had much experience with video game adaptations by that time. I
Not
think
at
that
that
was the
time.
first one. Yeah, for
No,
like our.
Super Mario
Oh.
Bros was exactly.
um, but I remember being so excited when they started showing like pictures of the actors in their makeup or
Mm.
whatever with the game, and I would just like, oh, this is so cool, you can make a movie out of video games, oh, it's so cool. And it was like my favorite movie for like, I don't know, from like 9 years old to like 21.
Yeah.
I still listen to the soundtrack.
Mm. Look, I've watched Mortal Kombat more times than I ever care to want to
Yeah,
discuss.
it is
Uh,
cheesy, but
Annihilation is awful.
I've never seen it. I do want to
Don't
see it.
bother.
Okay.
Don't bother. Don't bother. The newest one is even worse than that.
What? No, I heard it was kind of good.
But for different. No, it's
Oh, it's
awful.
not.
It is truly poor. It's truly awful.
Dear, dear,
So
dear.
I wouldn't bother. Anyway, let's wrap
Yeah,
this
we gotta wrap
absolute
this
mess
up.
show up.
It's a late night Monday recording. If you know anything about this show, you know that late night Monday recordings can go either really, really good
Yes.
or very sleepy.
Yes, but sorry, just a quick one. There won't be a show next week.
Right. Yes. There might be a selfie though, but there won't be a show.
Yes, I'm away for the fiance's birthday. I'm taking her away to Ireland.
Mm-hmm. To
So
Orland. So he'll be in my neck of the woods, which will be very cool if I can get away.
yes,
If things line up, it will be very cool.
yes, we will try, but no,
No
no
show.
pressure. Don't worry,
No.
obviously.
Yeah. Oh,
But
right.
yeah,
Yeah.
so
No.
unfortunately, obviously, there won't be a show because I'll be there on
Holiday.
Sunday, and I won't be back until quite late
Yeah.
on the Monday. So we're going to take a week off. Don't like
That's.
doing that when we've only done 2 episodes this year so far, but
I know, but
hey, them's the
we're.
breaks.
Yep. 2023. We're taking some of the pressure off and just a chilling. To
It's
extent.
also because it's fiance's 30th, so I need to make sure I was available for it.
That's a very important one. Um.
Yeah, exactly.
So that little throws me off, Pete, because you know what I usually say at this point.
Yeah, I know.
I guess you could
Where can
give
everyone
the.
find you?
I guess you give the podcast one. Where can we
Well, that's
find
at
you,
the end.
Pete? Pete.
Well, I'm currently manning the manhandling. I don't know.
Oh no.
The Rapid Reviews Radio podcast Twitter, which is at RR Radio Pod.
Yes, that's
Feels weird
right.
to have to say that again.
Yep, yep.
But yeah, I'm currently off Twitter. But I'll do what I usually do with the Never Watches. You can find me in various discords around the area. You know, you can find me on the Modern Escapism one, the Deadbeat Punks one, occasionally. Together we play Rapid Reviews, of course, and a few others. I'm also in the Fall Guys one.
I know. I like being in the Fall Guys. We will play one day.
Yeah, we will. Don't worry about that.
Oops,
Anyway, where can people find you if they want to?
I am here, there, and everywhere. I am on Twitter. I'm doing a new thing this year. If you follow my Twitter, and some of y'all do, because you talk to me on there. But sometimes I'm very guarded with what I say.
Mm-hmm.
Not for any particular reason, but more I just don't want to be annoying. And now
Yeah.
I'm just like, no, I'm just going to be myself. And I am an unserious person. And so if you want to come watch, me still on my autism struggle, that's just going to be the rest of my life, I think.
I think so.
That's why Twitter's great for people with autism. Well, I would say for anyone neurodivergent. As long as you create your bubble, and don't let the bad stuff get in. Because you can talk to, what is it called when you're not neurodivergent? Neurotypical. That's it.
Mm-hmm.
You can talk to neurotypical people, and they'll say, oh, this is what this means, or, no, you shouldn't do this. Yes, this can be perceived as rude, because I've been accused of being rude, like, my whole life, and I was shocked to find out that when you're done with the phone call, you don't just hang up. Because I was like, okay, I'm done now. Yeah, apparently you have to say bye, and then you have to, if they say bye and keep talking, you have to just sit there. It's very confusing.
Can be.
Yeah, so now I have gotten better, although I still get complaints. Because now I just go, okay, bye, and then hang up. I'll get a call back, and they're like, no, Kylie, that's not how you do it. Okay, so we'll go through the whole traditional ending. I don't know how it works. But anyway, so you can find me on Twitter at Kylie Tegreet, KILEYTEHGREET, or you can wander on over to Instagram, which I'm at Kylie Yellick, as I am on everything, and see me post my weight loss pictures. I lost 40 pounds so far. I got 40 more to go. So, yay. I think that's going to wrap it up for us.
For sure.
Thank you for stopping by, especially this off-schedule time. My words are failing, as is my brain. But we want to thank our listeners and our watchers. You can catch us on Rapid Reviews. Oh, dadgummit, I messed it up again. Twitch.tv/Rapid Reviews. If you want to watch the pods. And they also show up on YouTube sometimes.
They do most times.
Yeah. So I guess I'll do it. Oh.
Yes.
Okay. We'll see you. And talk to you next week Bye.
Mother.
Okay,
Oh, I felt that was fitting.
that was fitting. We'll go another 2 minutes on here, and then I gotta crash. I'm so dead.
Yep.
I did.
Give me 1 second
Okay.
to do something.
I did 5 rounds of 21 sit-ups.
Yep.
12 calories on a bike, which is 2 minutes. No, it's not. It's 1 minute. Sorry, 1 minute at high speed on a assault bike, and
That's
9
pretty impressive.
ring rows, which are like pull-ups, but not quite. You don't leave the ground.
Mm-hmm.
5 rounds of those, and I hadn't worked out at all last week, and I was so tired. Like
I'm not
nap
really
time.
surprised by that.
And I am gonna sleep so hard, hardcore sleeping tonight. And then I'm gonna go to the gym in the morning, and I don't think I'm lifting tomorrow. I think it's more cardio. But I have 2 lifts this week, and I'm very excited.
Good.
I love the gym. It's the only time I get to talk to humans outside of this. You realize that?
Oh, I know.
Sometimes I talk to my roommate, but he doesn't really... He's in his own world. I'm in my own world. If that makes sense.
Yes, I mean, if I know what you're like generally,
Yeah.
isn't that normal?
Yeah, that's me in real life too, Pete.
Oh, I know. I know.
I just get in my little bubble and I don't come out. And
Yeah, I wouldn't have guessed that ever.
yeah, people always find it so funny that I used to go to clubs and stuff, and I'm like, yeah. You have to get me out of my bubble, and then I'm fine. But I get
I was
so
gonna say, like, how many times do people really want to talk in clubs, though?
Exactly, that's what people
You
don't
can't.
understand.
It's nearly impossible.
It's absolutely impossible. Nobody talks to. I love it. We just jump around like crazy people and
Jump up, and get down.
exactly. And that is my dancing is just jumping up and down and going like this.
Yeah.
And then drinking. But I don't do that now because I'm old. Apparently, I don't feel old, but people tell me I'm old. So.
Yep. Well, I'm old too then.
Mm-hmm. I don't feel old though.
I definitely do now.
Is there a particular reason why? Oh, because you're engaged?
No, because I'm turning a different age in about...
Yeah, you are.
No, about 3 weeks.
Yep, you are. Maybe you'll get your Christmas gift by then.
Oh, you'll do it like you did last year, with Christmas and birthday present then.
Although, to be fair, that was Royal Mail's problem. Or whoever was in charge of that. But this year's my fault.
I mean, yeah, it probably is, but you were ill for quite a long stretch over Christmas anyway. So.
And like right now, my throat is like hurting so bad. That's why I keep coughing.
Oh no, I sort of gathered that anyway.
It's really weird.
Yes.
But I think we're gonna wrap it up, Pete. I'm really dying here.
Oh, I know, I can hear it.
All right, thank y'all for stopping by. And if you do watch The Last of Us, those are terrible accents. Those are not Texas accents.
Well, I was going to say, what, are you trying to do the more authentic Joel?
No, that was not authentic. That was them. I was making fun of them.
Oh, okay, fair enough.
Y'all stopped by for some biscuits. I was like, what? Nobody, why are you saying it like that? Nobody says that.
Why? Why?
And first of all, let me say one thing, and then we're going to totally, oh gosh, I've put the finger up.
I'm going to, alright, soapbox.
If an older Texas couple offer you biscuits, you take them suckers. Because that means that's the best biscuits around. And you guys call them scones.
Okay, thank God. Oh, that was going to be my question. I think you must have anticipated that one.
Yeah, because people are always like, biscuits and gravy, ooh, that's gross, because they think cookies and gravy. No, it's scones. Savory scones. And they're amazing. And anyway, so if an old person offers you food in Texas, take it, because it's the best food you've ever had in your life.
Well, to be fair, I'm not sure when I'm likely to find myself in the Texas area, you know.
You don't know. Who knew I was going to end up in Ireland?
Yeah, good point. I can't see myself ever going to Texas, though. That's the problem.
I'll take you on a tour one day.
I mean...
In the apocalypse.
Well, yeah, if the apocalypse was to ever come, then fine, let's do it.
Yeah.
Because then at least I know I'd be safe there.
That's right. All the guns. Okay, we're
All the-
leaving now.
Don't, because I'll start doing the infamous thing,
Uh-huh.
and I think you know what I
I
mean.
do. Okay. We're leaving, y'all. Bye.
Oh, they took the guns.